All right, guys, welcome back to the shack. And I keep getting emails, questions, messages asking me, Clack, how do you keep work? How do you stay busy? How did you get your business off the ground? Well, first of all, guys, I did a couple of videos. If you want to hear the backstory of how the shop got started or the shack got started, you want to hear a little more in-depth details, go check those videos out. I'm going to drop links to those two videos that me and Brandy made about a year or so ago so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel today. But for this video, I'm just going to kind of tell you a few of my tips, I guess you could say, and this is from my perspective, but a few tips about getting your business started, how to get things going, the mindset, the approach that I used, and that I recommend that you at least consider. But let's stick around and we'll talk about it. All right, guys. First off, I am not an expert, okay? If this is your idea of success, then I guess I'm successful. If not, then, you know, I'm just a redneck in a shack. That's it. But I will tell you guys that I have been able to make enough money to make my hobby pay for itself. I don't, you know, if I want to try to build something or make something, my hobby pays for itself. But today, we're not talking about YouTube. We're not talking about those ways of making money. Today we're talking about, like you see these products back here, these are things that I've been working on this week. All right, I've got this box of products. This is from my friend May, but I've got name tags, I've got all these little coins, I got these cool little coin holders that we make for her events, I've got some stove covers, as you can see, sitting all over the place. That's actually why I decided to make this video, because I was waiting on the stain to soak in or dry or whatever you want to call it on those so that I can proceed. And I was like, you know what, good time for this video. So I also do a lot with cutting boards and stuff. So there's a lot of products that I make. Oh, let's don't forget that sign back there. That's laser cut, 33 inches wide, big name. Those are things that I do every week. I had customers stopped by the shop this weekend. They messaged me, hey, can I stop by? I got something I want you to look at, and I did it. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about physically making things with your hands, with tools, and how to go about that, promote that, and make it work. So let's get started. All right, so first and foremost, mindset, okay? If you don't have the correct mindset going into it, if you don't have yourself just determined to make a business work, you're going to struggle. You're probably going to tap out. I'm not going to quote the statistics, but I do know that over the years, I've seen lots of videos. I've done lots of research. But, you know, getting a successful small business started is a feat that it's not for everybody. It is not something that is a guarantee. It takes hard work. It takes dedication. It takes being able to take a shot to the gut when something goes wrong, but still keep your eye on the ball and just keep pushing towards that goal. So mindset, just going into it, understand that you're not just going to start this business and then all of a sudden you're, you know, Microsoft. It doesn't happen that way. Now, I mean, I guess occasionally it does. Right place, right time, good Lord, intervention, whatever. But for me, it didn't happen that way, guys. It started off me making things for myself and my wife. Then I started putting things on Facebook, and then it got bigger, and people on Facebook started referring me, and it got big to the point to where I can't do any more right now until I retire. My days, my afternoons and weekends are full. I don't watch TV. I don't watch sports. I don't play sports. I love fishing. I don't get to go fishing. I don't get to go hunting. I don't get to do anything except stay in this shop and work to try to achieve my goals. So if you lack the commitment to walk away from the TV in March and not watch March Madness, if you lack the commitment to not go out there and climb up that tree that morning when it's, you know, nice and cold, maybe there's a little snow on the ground so it makes it easy to spot those deer. If you lack the commitment to give up those things to concentrate on your business, it's probably not going to work in the long run, because there's going to be times to where every ounce of energy, every part of your body is going to be needed to make sure that you achieve those goals. So mindset is a big thing, guys. And I know, I see the videos of, 3 ways to make money with your laser and those don't matter if you don't have the right mindset. So get your mind right. Make sure you're dedicated to it. Put the work in. Be willing to make sacrifices to achieve your goals. So, part 2. All right. Goals. Goals are a good thing. I am a very goal-oriented person. I do not do well without goals. I have mental wiring that encourages me to be able to say, I'm going to step here, and then I'm going to step here, and then I'm going to step here. Without those goals, I'm just sitting there. You know what I mean? It's like I don't have a map of where I want to go. I'm the type person, my personality requires me to have a map drawn out of where I want to go. Now, this doesn't mean I've got to know every little step. I just need to know I'm going to start at point A, and I'm going to get to point B. Now, one thing that I have learned about goals, set realistic goals. Be careful when setting goals. You want to set them just far enough to where you have to stretch to reach them, but not so far that you can't obtain them. That was one of my things that when I first started doing this, especially with social media, I set the goals way too big. Like I wanted to be, like I wanted the channel to be monetized the next day. I wanted to hit 10,000 subscribers the next day. Those were unobtainable goals. And unobtainable goals will set you up for disappointment. Disappointment will chisel away at your dedication, at that mindset. So avoid setting yourself up for failure, okay? Baby steps, small goals, work hard, keep your mindset right. Because like I said, nothing will damage your mindset going into starting a business as much as, you setting unobtainable goals for yourself. So just make yourself stretch. You want to push that weight until it burns, but don't hurt yourself, because too much of a good thing can be bad. So that's going to be, I guess, part 2 is set yourself goals. All right, so we're at 3 now, right? All right, in case you missed it, mindset. All right, you got to have the right mindset. Number 2 is goals, and work towards those goals. All right, number 3, I'm going to say make sure your support structure, like your wife, your significant other, your husband, whoever is around you, family member wise, make sure that they either understand what you're trying to do, your goal, or they are committed to it with you. They don't have to be all in like you are. This is your puppy, so to speak. It's your job to raise it, but they've got to understand there may be barking in the middle of the night. So there's going to be some side effects that your family, your wife, your kids, your significant others, parents, whoever, those folks are going to be affected by, you being busy doing your business, those days that things don't go so well, maybe your mood's not the best, or those days that things are going great and you're just really happy and they're not. So there's going to be some of that. So you need to make sure that your support structure, whoever's around you, is on the same page, or at least understanding of your position. Because, again, and this all comes back to, number 1, mindset. If your wife is not happy because you're always in the basement, or you're always in the garage, or you're always at your shop, she is going to pull you back, or either it's going to cause marital problems. Either way, it will negatively impact your ability to build a successful business. So make sure you're on the same page once you start into that, because you don't want to go through that. Family is very important. So make sure they're on board before you get into it. So now that we've covered all of the prerequisites to starting a business, let's talk about what to do to build it and keep it going. So that's going to start off with number 4. And we've moved from the point of getting everything ready in the prerequisites 1 through 3. And so now we're at number 4. Number 4 is enjoy whatever it is that you're doing, so that you're learning. Like I'm the type that I like to learn things. I like to make things. I just like being in the shop. So that makes it come kind of easy as far as doing this stuff, because I enjoy it. I really like what I'm doing. So by enjoying it, liking what I'm doing, that helps to take care of number one, which is having the will, the fortitude to push on. So that's going to be very key. So as far as the day-to-day operations of your business, I would say, even though that was number 4 overall, that's the most important thing as far as day-to-day once you've got it established and you've done the other 3. Then that brings us to number 5. Number 5 is you can't run a business of making things for people if you can't get rid of them, if you can't sell them, or if you can't have people ask you to make them things. So there's lots of folks out there that are a lot smarter than me, that went to universities and were like valedictorians and all this cool stuff, that will tell you how to market and how to sell things and that kind of thing. Well, unless you're trying to be the next Apple, start local. Start in your community, because there's one thing that I will tell you guys. In order to sell to an audience, you need to know the audience, okay? You need to know your customers. And all of us, you know, unless maybe you moved across the country or something, but for the most part, all of us have a working knowledge of our community, our neighborhood, our general vicinity, however you want to look at it. So start there, you know, start trying to cater your products, cater your sales pitch, all that to those folks. Know your audience, because there's nothing worse than maybe you think that, hey, you know, this would be a really cool product, and you're the only person in the state that likes it. You're not going to sell many of them. So you've got to figure that out. There's countless ways of determining what the market is. One of them is, you know, like I'm a member of a local business group where I meet and talk to and associate with other business members. Some of them have stores, boutiques, shops, restaurants, roofing companies, whatever. So one way that you can find out those things is to reach out to those other businesses and find things that they need. All of these little stove covers you see sitting around, I got more of them over here. All of those are for a home sales place. I make them every week. Like, I have to make these every week to stay caught up. Those are a repetitive product that I sell. And the cool thing about it is if I don't sell nothing else, I can count on this business is going to keep me doing enough work to, you know, provide that amount of money. So those are really nice staples to have. Sometimes those aren't the best paying jobs, but there's a balance to me of maximum profit or being able to count on it. Which would you rather have? Would you rather, you know, have 200% profit, or, you know, 100%, but you know it's coming? That's something you have to decide for yourself. If you have more money than you have time, maybe you want to go maximum profit. If you have more time than you have money, maybe you go for the sure thing. Me personally, I'm betting on the sure thing. I think steady wins the race. I don't plan to make all my money off of one job. So therefore, I have a power bill that comes every month. And so these things can always depend on them to pay that power bill. So that's one of the biggest things. Get out in the community, learn your community, know your community, let them tell you what they need, and have patience, guys. It takes a while. It's taken me like 4 years to get to where folks in the community know who I am and where I am, and for me to get the referrals that I get. So that brings us to, where are we at? I think we're number 6. We're at number 6. So let's talk about that one. All right. May step on a few toes with this one. Number 6, guys, is, and this is, there's 1,000 ways of looking at this. Number 6 is brand. Brand recognition, reputation, business reputation, whatever you want to call it, it's all basically the same thing. Many of you who know me, when you're scrolling through YouTube and you see some dude in this traffic cone looking orange shirt, you're like, wait a minute, that's Clack. And so even if maybe nothing else in the video caught your eye, sometimes you'll catch yourself scrolling back. Well, let's see what he done. That's because of reputation. Now, that goes both ways. Some of you guys may be scrolling and see that orange shirt and go, whoa, wait a minute, that's that guy that talks way too much, and he's country, and I can't handle him. So you keep scrolling. So it goes both ways. But one thing that you do want is you want to have a good brand. You want people to know. Like, this goes back to the community. People in my community get referred to me by other businesses, friends, family, my buddy Tim over at the trophy shop. Because if you come into Chilton County and you stop at any place in Chilton County and you go, hey, where's a good place to get something laser engraved around here? You're probably, and this is, I'm gaining, but you're probably going to first hear CNC Trophy Shop in Clanton, all right? If you don't hear that, you're going to hear the Clack Shack. And if you're in Thorsby, Jemison, the north part of Chilton County, you may even hear Klein's Engraving, because Klein works with me and does stuff. So having that brand or having that reputation in the community, having people know who you are, what you do, that you do good work, what your capabilities are, that is very important. The more people recognize your business, the easier your name is to say. Because no offense to some guys, but if I have to think and strain my brain to remember the name of your business on a good day, I'm probably not going to think of it when I go to need something. You know, like when I first named this building the Clack Shack, it was a joke. You know, my wife always said, hey, you going out to your shack? I named it the Clack Shack. I never realized how easy that would be to remember and how good it would be for my branding, you know, 5 years down the road, 4 years down the road. So that's one thing, is make yourself recognizable. Make your logo, your colors, you know, don't be all over the page. You know, don't rename your business 10 times in the first year. Pick a good name and go with it, because you will lose all of the brand recognition that you've built the first 3 or 4 months. You're going to lose it when you start changing your name. If you have a website, a Facebook page, a YouTube channel, if you have all of those things, make sure those things are all named exactly the same. Okay, I've got a couple that I had to put the LLC at the end because somebody had stolen it already. But for the most part, you want people to be able to go to Google and type in your business name and find you everywhere. So that's another one, is brand. So that brings us to 7. There's no accident that I saved 7 for last, guys. 7 is another one of those things that taps into human behavior altogether, all right? This is part of the mental psyche that is customers and businesses. 7 is people will buy product from you if they like you, whether they need it or not. Like, if they know you're a small business and they see something at, let's say, Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and they know you and they know, hey, you know what? Clack can make that, so I'll just get him to make me one. They will come to you to get those things made, and sometimes they'll even pay you a little more than they would somewhere else, because they like the fact that they like you, and therefore they want to support you and they want to help you. Human existence owes itself to this, because we actually, deep down, 90% of the population, we like helping each other. Everybody does. Whether you're a postal worker, a doctor, a lawyer, law enforcement, military, whatever, we like helping each other. So if people like you and they feel that you're part of their community and you are a likable person and you're not just, you know, rude all the time, they'll support you. So that is one of the biggest things that I have seen, is because I consider myself to be a likable guy. Some people don't. Some people think I'm not very likable, but that's okay, because you know what? They're the minority right now. But people like me, therefore they bring me their jobs. Therefore, when somebody's sitting around at a group and they go, man, I really need to get this made, I wonder who can make that. They're going to be like, oh, go to YouTube, go to Facebook, find the Clack Shack, he can make it for you. He'll do you a good job, he's a good guy. You know, that is probably one of the most valuable things when it comes to building a business longevity-wise, because the more people like you, the more they're going to recommend you to other people, because they want other people to have a good experience. So not only, at this point, not only are they helping you by sending you business, but they're helping that other person by sending them somewhere to get their work done that they can depend on and that's going to do them a good job and that's not going to steal from them. If people like the experience they had with you, they're more likely to come back and they're more likely to refer you to other people. And the more of that happens, the next thing you know, you're not having to beat yourself to death trying to market. You know, you're not having to boost Facebook page ads. You're not having to like put your name on a billboard or whatever. You can just kind of let that build and to the point to where you're kind of like I am now, to where I got to have more time. I've got more jobs right now, more responsibilities, more obligations than I do time. And that's when you start kind of backing down with some of the marketing. And that's what I've done here locally. Now, 151 days from now, I'm going to crank that back up because I'm going to need more work as I've got more time after I retire. So, there it is, guys. I think we covered most of it. Like I said, not the end all be all, but if you're still watching this video right now, then what I just told you, especially number 7, is true. Because the people that watch to this point of this video, more than likely, the reason that you waited this long and that you watched to this point of the video, it's not that you necessarily thought I have all the answers. It's you just wanted to hear what I had to say. You wanted to help me out, watch the video. You wanted to kind of hang in there and see what was going on. Or maybe you just liked me that much that you wanted more of me. But those principles will help you continue your business and grow your business from my perspective. Like I said, not a professional. Well, okay, maybe I am a professional. I'm not a professional business advisor. Okay, I am not a business advisor. I have my business. I have a small business. It's very small. It's like 20 by 24. But I make money at it. All right, guys. So I don't like doing these kind of businessy videos that much, but I had a lot of people asking me, and I see a lot of stuff out there. I see content from other people, and not that I disagree with them. You know, it's just everybody's perspective is different. My perspective is different than most. I'm not a 20-something-year-old guy that's trying to support myself, support my family with this shop. That's not my situation. You know, I'm fixing to be retired. I'm going to have a retirement check coming in. I just want this shop to offset, you know, health care and that little bit of pay cut that I'm going to take by not being actively employed. So my scenario, your scenario may be two different things. And if you're not looking for what I'm offering here, then by all means, you know, go check around, find other content. There's plenty out there about it. But I have a lot of people asking me just the nuts and bolts, you know, and I did some videos, like I said, earlier on, but a lot has changed since then. I have learned a lot. I have grown a lot. I have gotten more experience in doing what I'm doing. So I just thought I'd make this as kind of a follow-up. But there you have it. That is my top 7 business tips, I guess you would say. And we'll figure out how to name this video, but it's kind of odd. And I didn't make anything, didn't use any lasers. It's weird. But anyway, guys, if you haven't already, hit the like button, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. I do normally make things and show you equipment in these videos, but this one was a requested video. So you can blame those folks. Don't blame me. I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm trying to make my customers happy so you guys will keep coming back. So until next time, guys, be safe and have a good day.